Hi, friends. It's Angela, Wild Violets Art. I'm hoping that you're having a great 30th of July or December. Am I off or what? I hope you had a great Christmas and you're looking forward to a wonderful 2025. I know that 2024 has probably been one of my hardest years to date, and I've had some rough ones. But God always gets us through it, and He'll get us through 2025. So, tonight, in case you have tons of wonderful cards that you've been hoarding, I'm going to give you a great idea for giving them away. So, tonight I'm going to show you how to make this really cute box that you can gift bunches of cards in. So, this is actually something that's going to coordinate with the new paper pumpkin, the Notes from the Heart, which is from December 2024. And I used one of the cards and some of the elements from the card in order to make this really beautiful box. So as you can see, it's been embossed with the Fern 3D embossing folder. I have used the Mary Tags and More die add-on, paper pumpkin only, to add some extra ferns. This is part of the kit. I've got some vellum here that maybe you have a hard time seeing. And then I'm using some new product, which is the 1/2 inch woven ribbon in white. That will be coming out with a new catalog on January 7th. And I used it as a little ruffle down here below the sentiment. But this sentiment, the little embellishments are all from this gorgeous kit. So I wanted to remind you that this kit and the add-ons without the sentiments. Now, keep in mind, this does not have the stamp set in it or the um, ink spot in it when you buy the refill. So but I think there's so much that you could do with this gorgeous set. So let's dive in. So Paper Pumpkin, as you know, comes with, the first time it comes with a block. And then, of course, every month you get an ink spot if there's any stamping to be done. And then you'll get a stamp set. Now, this stamp set I've already got all put on blocks. But these are the sentiments that are in that stamp set. So just a note, happy birthday, best of luck, lots of love, get well soon, hello, congrats, and thank you. That's 8 sentiments. That's amazing. So this is a 9-card set. So that means that if you stamped one of these sentiments on every card, you would only have one as a repeat. And if you made it so that it had a different design element, you could have all these individual cards. Okay, so I've already dived into this because I've already made a scrapbook 2-page layout that is part of my Paper Pumpkin Creatives. And I've shared with you the sneak peek. And as you can tell, this Paper Pumpkin kit is just stunning. I mean, if you like florals like myself or foliage like ferns, I mean, I just absolutely love this. This is some little blackberries or boysenberries with some blooms to go with it. You've got, looks like peonies, or maybe it's a rose, and then you've got a fern. So the ferns could be for guys. You don't have to all send them out to girls. But look at these gorgeous card or envelopes to go with it. So, all right. So you get the 9 cards, 9 envelopes, and I've obviously been using these for different things. But these scalloped cards are so pretty. You can see there's a little element of a pattern on this paper. Let me just keep it so that it can focus on it. And you can see it's got a little subtle yellow in it. So it just kind of gives it a little bit of a vintage pattern to it. Really, really pretty. And then these are the 3 design elements that go on these cards. So what I've done is I've taken a half of a card face and I've taken a fern, the vellum, and then I added 2 of the ferns from this add-on. Let's talk about the add-ons for a minute. If you had subscribed from the beginning of the year and because you have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to get these add-ons, you could have gotten all of these dies. And if you look at these dies, every one of these die set have a sentiment for 2024, and all of them are available. That one is on sale for $6, but these are $12 each, and you get 3 dies for that. So actually you had 4 for the first quarter of this year, and you have 5 for the first quarter of 2025. So this is the spring is in the air dies that are available, and they will coordinate with each of the months. So this one will coordinate with the January, and then I think the bees will be February, and then this looks like a little bit of grass. I'm not sure what this is for, but I think it may be a daisy middle will be for March. So we'll get into that, or maybe it's March. This is February and this one's March. I don't remember. So we'll know more about it as we get closer. But this one is the one that's only $6, and it's the Love of Spring dies from 2024. And then we had this Thanks and Beyond dies, great sentiment label along with this one. I mean, this has got a great sentiment label. This had love. This had thanks. Then we had the one that was for the fall, Every Celebration dies. And so remember, it had the flower, the leaf for fall, hooray. That was one of the Paper Pumpkins as well. And then this one was, it's got Mary. It's got this sweet little fern, which I just am in love with. And then, of course, this big tag, and it's Mary tags and more. So just, you need to be picking up those add-ons. Okay, so the kit includes tear and tape, the envelopes. These are labels that go on the envelope so that you can see the address when you write it on. So you might want to just make sure you rub it really good, but isn't that a gorgeous card on envelope? And then it's got this sticker for this little scalloped label. So that's for that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, and then here's the vellum. And we've got this really beautiful foliage, these florals and berries and fern. Okay, so let's put together and show you how to put together this box. Okay, so you'll need something to score with. And you're going to be using an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. That's all it takes. It's just one 8.5 by 11. So you've got, so as you can see, I've got all these measurements, and I'll have this all on my blog. I'll be taking a picture of all these things, and I'll be adding it here shortly. But you're going to take an 8.5 and 11, and you're going to score it at 5 inches, 6 inches on this side. And then I scored these at 2.5 and 8.5 so that I could get where these lines were going to be cut off. And I'll show you how that is. And then you're going to do 1 inch and then 7.5 inches for this side. So let's get started. Okay. So let's start with this side. And if you're using the scoreboard from Stampin' Up, it's got this great little stylus that makes it easy. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 inches and then 6 inches. And then I'm going to do 1 inch and then 7.5 inches. Then I'm going to turn it back, and because I want to know where I need to cut for that cut that goes in the middle of the side. And the reason I have that in the middle is because for this box, I want it to squeeze together really easily. Okay, so once you're done with the box, then you can just put your little cards and envelopes in here, and it will fit, I think, probably up to 6 comfortably. So it's just a great way to gift your cards, and it doesn't have to be a matching set, but as it works out, when I'm done with my paper pumpkin kit, I'll have 6 cards in here with matching envelopes, and it'll just be a perfect little gift for somebody. It could be a shower gift. You can make them all thank you, or it could just be a birthday gift or whatever kind of gift you want. Okay, so going back to this guide, so I'm going to now cut away all the areas that I have crosshatched. Okay, so it's really easy, and you can either do this with your cutter or you can do it by hand. But I'm going to cut straight up for these flaps, and then I'm going to cut at an angle. And then I'm going to be cutting here and here. So these are going to be my sides, and this is my bottom flap. So straight, and then I'm angling for that last little flap. Okay, so you can see that I've matched what I have here. Okay, and as a reminder, I'll put this on my blog, and then I'll put the link on my Facebook page so you can find it. Okay, so we're done with the box. Okay, so now it's easiest to decorate this without having it put together. But one of the things I wanted to show you, in case you noticed, is I made a scalloped edge along here. Now, I don't have a scalloped edge die. And so what I did is I used, this is one of the new dies that's coming in the new catalog. And it's one of the bundles. Let me just get that out real quick. And then it's called the Hugs for Love bundle. And it has a second stamp set. And I showed it to you when I did my preview. Yeah, let me just find the stamp set real quick. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. So the Hugs for Love stamp set that goes with this punch. And then it had a second stamp set that goes with it as well. So it's a really great deal for making really cute labels. But I'm going to show you how to make a scallop with it. Okay, so I'm just going to mark with a pencil where the 4 1/4 mark is. Or sorry, this is actually 6 1/2 inches, so I want 3 1/4. And I'm just marking the 3 1/4 really lightly. And I'll show you why I'm doing that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this side, and I want you to, let me get this up close, is you don't want to go past where the scallop is, okay? So you're going to line it up just so. And then this little mark that I made, I want this to be the middle. And then again, I'm going all the way over to the side so you can see I'm at the corner, but I don't want to go down that far. And you can see the little scallops have landed on me. So then you're going to do this to the other side as well. I think we're still here. Looks like my phone did a little naughty. Not sure what that's about. Okay, so I'm just putting this in the middle. And then over to the side. Over to the side. Now you can do any pattern you want, and you can actually have it, and I actually just made a mistake, but I did it with 3 humps, and instead I did it a little bit different. So that's okay. I can just tie my bow a little differently. But an alternative to that is I made this cute box, and I'll show you the cards that I'm going to be making here for this next week. But I'm using this die or punch for the scallop, and I'm doing it in a piece of white cardstock. And let me just show you how I do that. So on the side of this punch is a slot, because I'm not doing a 2-inch wide tag. I'm going to make this into a border. So what I'm doing is I'm just sliding it through this slot right here, okay? And I'm pushing it all the way through so that it bumps up against the side. And then I'm going to continue on. And on this side, and I'll show you this again, I'm going to line this up so there's this little gap. And I want to match that gap. I don't want to go past, and I don't want to go all the way to here. I want that little gap to be here. So let's just make sure that we push it all the way against that. And then again, I'm just going to line it up with that little gap. And then we have this really cute little border that can be added on, because I can't slide the paper in full because it's only got a 2-inch width. Okay, so let me toss this away, and I'll show it to you again next Monday when I do the cards for this box. But didn't that turn out so adorable? So this is some of that storybook Moments Suite collection. Just as a reminder, I showed it to you a couple weeks ago when we did the Marvelous Monday, and it's got the storybook patch, the Storybook Friends bundle, and it had 2 sets of DSP, which I just love this plaid. And then, of course, this has got all kinds of different cardstock, and then it's got these little punch-out elements. So these are all punch-out. So they would make adorable cards or a scrapbook page, or like this, a 3D element. So super, super sweet, and we'll play with this next Monday. Okay, back to our box. All right, so we're not going to fold it too hard because these are all going to be for a box. But before we put it together, I wanted to take some of the elements from the kit and create a front. Okay, so I have this is the full card, and you can see the scallops. And what I did is I cut one of the cards in half. And of course, the other half could easily make a card front for another card. But I'm going to emboss this with the 3D fern, so we get this beautiful pattern on this cardstock. And I'm just going to make sure that all of the pattern is within the boundary. And then I'm just going to emboss it real quick. my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so this piece gets glued down. And I'm going to glue it all the way down to the bottom score mark, so that when I have my box, this white goes all the way down to the bottom. Okay. All right, and then we're going to decorate. So I'm going to, instead of using the fern, I think that I want to use these really pretty berries. And the reason I'm not using the rose is because the rose is better for a card going up and down rather than side to side. And I think that this little set of berries would be really pretty just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to get my sentiment labels out. And I want one of these vellum pieces. So if you were doing this for a gift, you would have one card that you would use for the front, and then you could easily make 8 cards that could go in this box. So it's such a great deal. Really, really beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to use one of these ferns, and then let's see, I'm thinking, actually, I'd like to use all 3 of these because of the gold and the mossy meadow and the blackberry bliss go with these berries so well. And then we have the vellum in the background. So I think that looks good. And then let's figure out a sentiment that will go with this. All right, so the sentiments again are lots of love, just a note, thank you, congrats, hello, get well soon, happy birthday. And I think just a note is super cute for this. And I'm going to use Black Bliss. And just a note. Perfect. And I think that really beautiful, just like so. So now that we've kind of dry fit it, now we can go back and kind of figure out how to place it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the backs, and these ferns work really well with these little mini dots, mini dimensionals. And then I'm going to use the bigger dimensionals, and I don't need to put anything on this vellum because this vellum actually, once I start putting the items that have the glue dots on them, they'll just fall right in place. So now I just need to add dimensionals to kind of keep this popped up. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is put my berries. And then make sure that my little ferns go in the right place. So I'm thinking like so. And then the gold one will go in the middle. So let's put the mossy meadow. So just as a reminder, the colors for these are mossy meadow, which is this cardstock here, blackberry burst, and then this is gold foil sheets. And I'm just barely tucking it in there. And then because these are already popped up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one dimensional. Right here. And then I'm going to put a glue dot so that it keeps it level. I don't want it to be sticking up higher on one side than on the other. So I've got a couple of glue dots right here, as you can see. And then I've got my dimensional holding up the sentiment on that other side. Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to put it together. And remember, this is my front, so I want these flaps to come up last. Okay. So I'm going to do glue on all of these. And a little glue goes a long way. This glue is very permanent once you've put your stuff together. So I want the flap to go in first, and then my side up, and then my other side's up. Get this off. Hey, Linda, thanks for joining me. Sometimes I forget to look up, so I apologize. Okay, so we've got the box. And just pinch it on the inside. Make sure everything is going together because you're going to want your cards to be able to slide in and out. So now you can see that my envelopes are going to fit in there just fine, along with my cards. So let me just fold one of these cards up so that you can kind of see how the card and envelope will fit in there. And now I'm just going to punch a couple of little, I'm going to just trim off a little bit unevenness. But I'm going to now punch a couple of holes here. And then I'm going to take some of this woven ribbon. This is 1/2 inch white woven ribbon. And I'm just going to put it through. And I guess I should measure first, but I want to say about 16 inches, thereabouts. So obviously you're going to want to put all of your cards together and then thread your ribbon through, but I'm just going to show you what it's going to look like. And then we can play around with the cards a little bit. Sorry, I'm just poking it through with the stylus. All right, so when you are doing bows, everybody has a way of doing it. And if you don't like the way that your bows are turning out, then you're going to need to want to look up my YouTube video called Bows, Bows, Bows. And it's a great tutorial on how to do bows. And I typically thread it over so that the bottom I can lift up and make into a little loop, and then loop over the top of it and under, and I have my little bow. Now, if it doesn't work out the way I want it to, then that means I need to move over just a little bit so that this one is shorter. And then I can just scoot the ribbon over. I can put that in the middle now. And then you just trim as desired. Isn't that beautiful? And you can see that the envelopes and cards are secured in there, and so it's just a great gift, just like so. All right, so now we're going to play with some of the cards. And one of my favorite alternates for a beautiful card like this, the scallop, is so pretty, is actually folding it back so that you end up with a fun fold. And I want this scallop to show, so that's why I didn't score it. I'm just going to push it over enough that you can see the scallop is going to be on both sides. Is that pretty? And so you can have it so that this is on the outside if you want, but I'm just happy with this on the inside as well. Okay, and then we can add our elements. So let's add this beautiful peony. And I'm pretty sure this is a peony by the leaves. And then we're going to add our foliage. Vellum. So we'll just add that together. There's a little place I need to punch out. And then we can make this into a birthday card. And if you want to add like a piece of cardstock to kind of hold it up, you can. But I don't think it's necessary. I think that it'll still fold out really pretty just by adhering the elements to this little piece that's sitting here. We'll still get a really great card. Okay, let's work with the happy birthday. I want this to be a birthday card. And I think this pretty little oval tag will work. And I just want to show you something because I just think it's so great that there are actually 8 sentiments. So we have the happy birthday. You can make them all happy birthday if you wanted to. I know that I always need more happy birthdays. So let's go ahead and just add. We're going to just add the dimensionals on the one side of the foliage. And when I place it on top of the vellum, it'll keep the vellum in place. All right. So you don't have to add anything to make the vellum stay. And so you can see how it just stays in place, and it's got enough coverage that if you want to have a little sentiment there or a little message there, you still have room. And then we're going to pop up this happy birthday, and I want it to be, all my dimensionals are going to be on this side. So I'm going to place my dimensional here, and looks like I'm run out of dimensionals. I use every single one of my dimensionals, just so you know. There isn't a one that gets to stay. And then I'm just going to turn it over, place it just like so. Isn't that beautiful? And then we have these very stunning envelopes with these beautiful little scalloped labels. Looks like I already put the scallop on there. Isn't that pretty? So that's just one of the cards that's going to go in this gift box. And I have 2 gift boxes here because I have 2 kits. So I'm going to have plenty of cards to put in both. But let's just play with some of the other sentiments. This one goes great in the round. Get well soon. So you've already seen lots of love. You've seen happy birthday. Just a note. We have thank you. that works in this cute little oval. And if you wanted to, you could just put sentiments on all of these different cards and then leave them with like a little bit of dimensionals, and that person can choose which card they want to have what sentiment on. Okay, so we've done the thank you. Just a note, goes on the round, just great, fits perfectly. Then we have best of luck, great for graduation or a new job. Make sure that I'm stamping within the screen. Sorry about that. Oh, thank you, Linda. So this is actually the paper pumpkin kit for December. This is Notes of Love, or no, Notes from the Heart. Sorry, Notes from the Heart paper pumpkin kit. And I'm just using a piece of the Mossy Meadow cardstock to make my box. So you can use anything you would like. But for the other one, it's this one here. This is the story. I closed it up. It's the storybook. Friends of, nope, wrong one. Storybook Moments Suite. So that's with this one. And this is from the new catalog that comes out January 7th. And I'll be showing you next week. Okay. So we've got just a note, get well soon. Thank you. Best of luck. We already did lots of love. Happy birthday. And then we have one more that's congrats. And a little hello that fits in the round one as well. So if you note, there are 3 that work perfectly in the circles. Get well soon, hello, and just a note. They work great here. And then we have congrats. We have thank you. And we have happy birthday that work great in the oval ones or oblong ones. And then we have best of luck and lots of love that work for these bigger ones. And as you can tell, each kit has 2 sets of these. So you have 9. So you can see what I mean. There's just, you could actually stamp every single one of these and put them all in the box. Don't put your sentiments on your cards, and you'd be able to have all these sentiments for them to choose from. Just give them a little bit of dimensionals and they can make their own cards however they want to. So I hope that you had fun with this. This is one of my favorites. Stampin' Up! Has just really, they've raised the bar, so I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to go back to anything else. But I love their paper pumpkin kits because they're just really, really well done. And like I said, there's all these add-on dies that you can get as well. And if you get all the add-on dies, you end up with all these sentiments and labels. So this one was the Merry Notes or Merry Tags and More that I used this great fern. This was the one that was for fall, and it's every celebration die. No, sorry, summer. This was spring, the Love of Spring dies. And it went with the first quarter, and it's on sale for $6. And then there was this Thanks and Beyond dies, which was the butterfly and the thanks and this shaped label. And then this is coming up in January, which is the Spring is in the Air die, and it matches the January paper pumpkin. So it'll match January with the heart. It's going to be March, I'm not sure which is, or April, sorry, February, March. So we've got honeybees, and then these 2, I'm not sure what they are matching yet. But it's coming up. Spring is in the air dies. So don't forget about the dies because the add-on dies just make it so much better. Okay, so I'm hoping you're having a great evening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you so much for joining me. I'm Angela with Wild Violets Art. If you're watching me later on YouTube, please click like and subscribe, and you'll get lots of updates and creative ideas. Thanks so much. Have a great evening, and Happy New Year.